Ben, you ready? I'm going to start the episode. It's words about books, baby! That's right. Ben, do you know why I'm excited this week? That's right. I got us tickets, Ben.
Oh.
I got us tickets to Thrawntanamo Bay.
Okay, that was better than mine. That was better than mine.
Ben and Nate go to Thrawntanamo Bay.
That's the title of the episode right there.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to say it's by Timothy Zahn or anything. Screw the algorithm. That's the title.
We all know who it is by this point. If you've been listening to this podcast, I think this is the most often talked about thing on the podcast.
Sadly, yeah. I mean, maybe Peter Klein's is up there. I guess a plug for the Patreon there. If you wanted to hear Nate ramble about Peter Klein's, maybe we'll have to do a Thrawn fan fiction for the Patreon at some point.
We probably have to at this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think, not counting the bonus episode, which was just the supercut of the original Thrawn trilogy, I think we've got 10 episodes of Thrawn.
Yeah, and I don't even...
We didn't even mean to do this.
No. I don't think either one of us is really that attached to Thrawn.
Not really, no. I will say I agree that this version of Thrawn is much more attachable, though.
But the main thing is, like, I've become an unwilling expert on Thrawn. Like, there's a whole community of people on Instagram and Twitter, which I'm no longer on. I think they're called the Thrawn Ascendancy or something, and it's just all about Thrawn all the time. And like, I find myself reading through some of that stuff and wanting to correct it. Not because I care, but because I know the answer.
Oh, wasn't there like a Thrawn rom-com or something on Instagram?
There's a lot of people misspelling Mithron Naruto.
Yeah, Mithron Naruto. Got it.
Oh, no. See, that's what I can't abide. That's what I can't abide. You got to put some respect on his name. But yeah, we're back. We're back.
With our best blue boy.
A little preview, I guess, before you jump into your thing, is I previously read the sequel to this book by mistake. This is the book I meant to read. This is the first of the new Thrawn books since Disney took it over. I assume we're not going into that whole thing. We've got, as previously mentioned, 10 episodes of content describing that. So
you inadvertently did a Star Wars where you saw the middle one first, then you went back to the prequel.
Yeah. I'll be real with you. This feels like a prequel, having read the other one. But yeah, so you said you promised me you had a solid opener. Was that your opener, or is there more?
That was.
Okay.
Now you could do the title crawl if you want, Ben.
Yeah, I forgot to prepare something, so I guess I can just ramble until I run out of things to say.
Okay.
When do you want to start? You said you're going to acapella me?
Ba 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 ba.
The evil empire has taken over the Galactic Republic, and now it's the Intergalactic Empire or something. And there's a blue man who has been isolated from his blue man group, and he's hiding out on a planet. And that's where our story begins.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna be real with you.
This is all true.
I'm gonna be real with you. We did that all in mic. There were no clever editing tricks there, and I couldn't hear myself talk, and it was really distracting because all I could hear was the acapella thing. So even if I could have improved,
perfect. No, 10 out of 10. Okay. Cut it, keep it. We're printing it.
Okay. Yeah, but so that's where we're at. It's after episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, but before episode 4, A New Hope. We're on the outer rim of the galaxy.
Yeah.
Which I guess is supposed to be like the boondocks, but there's also an unknown region, which is actually closer to the center. If you look at the map.
Is it really?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, so we're dealing with some space hillbillies here.
Yeah, I assume you read this, right? You didn't audio.
I read this.
Eli has kind of a yokel hillbilly accent.
They talk about that a lot in the text, so that makes sense. They do talk about him trying to hide his accent and other people from the Rim trying to get rid of theirs.
Yeah, I like how it's always the same accent, too. They knew what they were doing.
Can I get one thing out of the way up front? Because I'm interested in your opinion on this. And you like previewing where we're going.
Okay.
What the hell was Arinda Price doing in this book?
That's a good question, Ben. I had to look her up. She's like a Rebels character? Yeah, she's one of the villains in Rebels.
Okay.
I was also like, who is this? And then her story kept popping in, and I was like, who is this?
Yeah.
This isn't my blue boy. This is someone else.
It feels incredibly out of place. If, like, now that you mention it's a crossover from something else, I was like, they've got to be developing her for something else. Like, I thought maybe she'd come in another book, but I know she's not in the next book. And so I was like, what the fuck is this? But, okay, so that was supposed to be, that's a little full third of the book that only the super fans will understand, I guess, if you watched that one shitty cartoon on Cartoon Network.
Yeah, this is to develop the backstory of that person who, from what I saw, dies. She dies.
Oh, well, she kind of deserves to. I mean, she's not a great person.
Yeah, she's not. I'll agree with that. I was waiting for her story to, like, is it going to cross over with Thrawn's? And the answer is...
Kind of.
Eventually. For a little bit.
They literally talk for, like, I think a grand total of 15 minutes real time.
Yeah. It's not very long.
Yeah, that was an interesting one. Okay, so that's one mystery explained. My only familiarity with the Rebels cartoon, I shouldn't say it's a shitty cartoon, because I don't even know. I've never seen it. But...
I've heard it's definitely inferior to the Clone Wars, but again, I haven't seen that one either, so, like, I don't know.
The only experience I have with it is pulling stills from it to use as memes to plug our Thrawn episodes, because Thrawn is in Rebels.
Oh, I thought you said Poland steals it, and I was like, what?
Stills.
What does Poland have to do with anything?
Pulling
I understand what you said now after you were talking, and I was like, oh, okay, context.
This isn't my Western Pennsylvania accent. This isn't about the Stillers, okay?
I was hoping that somehow Poland and maybe the war in Ukraine was somehow involved with the Rebels cartoon.
Well, I tell you, Russia needs a Thrawn right now.
Oh, yeah. Or Ukraine, you know.
The world needs Thrawn.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's kick it off. Do you want to summarize a little bit, or do you want to?
Yeah, let's do that. Like you said, our blue boy is on a outer rim planet. And one of the many spaceships, whose name I didn't write down, they stumble across a dwelling, and I guess there is an unidentified alien protocol from the old Republic days that they still have to go down there and do a survey. I don't want to do this.
I did love how they added the Prime Directive to Star Wars. That's what this needed.
Well, Palpatine's working to remove it, Ben. He's trying to get rid of that last vestige of Star Trek, you know?
I didn't get the vibe that Palpatine was working on this. I liked that, too. I like... See, this is kind of what
you didn't see Palpatine a lot?
Well, I do like that. I don't actually like
reminded?
Palpatine as a character that much, but...
Is it because his character is, I'm evil?
He's more fun to watch than he is to read.
Yes, because when you read him, he has to be like a nuanced character because everyone else is trying to be like a three-dimensional character, and he's like standing back there shocking a guy and laughing.
Because when you read him, it's just like his plans are so dumb.
We'll get into that. That's how the story wraps up, Ben.
I enjoyed that they pointed out that his plans are really stupid.
I mean, they've been doing that for years. They even pointed out that the second Death Star was dumb back in the first Thrawn book.
I think people have been pointing out that the second Death Star was dumb since Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
And
you're not wrong.
And the Ewoks.
You gotta just focus.
If you take out the parts of the movie that George Lucas ripped off from Akira Kurosawa, it's just Muppets fighting robots, and it sucks. That sounds cool.
That sounds like
but
it
he
should
made
be
it
awesome.
suck. Yeah. But I don't know. Anyway, so there's an alien. We're doing first contact. What's going on?
Yeah, and there's a weird scarecrow. That's weird, right? How weird is that? Oh, we're under attack. Oh, Jesus. And they did not realize, Ben, that they were up against Thrawn Rambo.
It really is like Thrawn using guerrilla Vietnam tactics. Yeah. He's strapping bombs to squirrels. He's like...
They're improvised bombs, too. I took the blaster pack out and I overloaded it, and then it's like, okay.
There's a couple, like, legitimately haunting moments where Thrawn takes the armor of a dead soldier, stuffs it full of explosives, and then props it up like it's, like, alive. Like Weekend at Bernie's, this dead soldier, and then it just blows the fuck up. I enjoyed all of Thrawn's weird tactics stuff.
And so rightly, the Imperials are like, okay, we sent down our ground crew of engineers. That didn't work out. We sent down stormtroopers. That didn't work out.
Get used to that.
I think they even send in TIE fighters. One of those explodes, and so they're like, all right, first contact complete. Nothing to find here. Let's get the hell out of here right now. I guess I should mention, because he's going to be important later, Eli Vanto. He's the Watson to Thrawn's Sherlock. He is just here because he knows a backwater hillbilly language that isn't programmed in the protocol droids. So if we do find this guy who's murdering us...
It's so backwater. It wasn't even worth programming into a droid that knows 3 million forms of communication.
Unfortunately, so far it only translates into an incomprehensible dead language. Hello. Bonjour. Crazy gibberish.
Yes, that's how backwater it is.
Even though, like, presumably billions of people speak this language. By the time you get to, like, every Outer Rim planet winds up speaking this language, and half of the unknown regions.
Yeah, it's very backwater. Core worlds are the only worlds that matter, Ben. I might be an Outer Rim racist, but I think that the core worlds are just best because they're better. Did you ever think about that?
There's a lot of classism. There's a lot of racism.
Yep. It is the Empire, so, you know, to be expected, I guess.
Yeah, and the thing they don't ever really get into is how, like when the Emperor got elected, it's like a switch flipped in a lot of people, and they just kind of, like, stopped pretending to be normal. and it turns out they were just horrible, racist, classist, probably homophobes the whole time.
Yeah, isn't that weird how that works out?
Again, I can't think of another real-life analog to that, but, like, it would be terrible.
Yeah, thank God that has never happened. That's just too unrealistic.
Yeah.
I mean, whew. Yeah, I'm glad real life isn't like a dystopian Star Wars, so. But yeah, so they're like, all right, mission accomplished. Some guys were killed and we lost a ship. Let's get the hell out of here. And then one of the guys on the Star Destroyer is like, I think he's here. Let's just watch this hangar bay for a bit. See him? There he is. All right, let's send in like all the stormtroopers, like all of them. Let's not take chances. Holy shit. Let's go get him. And we find out that this is our boy Thrawn. He is a Chiss. He's been exiled from the Ascendancy since the Clone Wars began for suggesting some sort of what is it called?
Preemptive
strike. I wanted to say premature strike. That's not. So Thrawn, he says all the right things to get a meeting with the Emperor himself. I can't remember exactly what he said, other than he could provide valuable information on the unknown regions and the Chiss and all that. And they're like, yeah, I guess we'd take you in front of the Emperor.
He hints that there's some mutual threat to both the Empire and the Chiss lurking in the unknown regions that the Emperor would want to know about. And
I choose to believe it's the Yuzong Vong, even though they don't exist in this continuity. But that's all I was thinking. I was like, oh.
I was thinking that too, but they're not. Even in the old one, they didn't come from the unknown regions. They came from outside the galaxy.
I think that I saw that they had some advanced party in the unknown region, though. I don't know if I'm telling the truth, but they had some Yuzong Vong who were here in the galaxy ahead of their ships. But it's not them, so don't think about them. Don't think about how awesome it would be if this were the Thrawn that we got in the EU. Just think about the sequels. Don't think about the sequels.
But
never mind.
Thrawn also pretends he can't speak English very well.
Yeah,
and he
gets like 99% of the words, but it's that 1% that he needs a translator. And hey, we've got a translator right here.
So that's how Eli Vanto winds up becoming Thrawn's handler.
And yeah. Because he gets that audience with the Emperor, blah, 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 mutual beneficence, and hey, I knew a guy who helped out in the Clone Wars who could verify that I'm a good guy. Anakin Skywalker!
Anakin, you're breaking my heart.
Yeah.
Except you already told me about that second book, so like, I already knew.
He also knew Padme, but he doesn't mention that.
Yeah, no, most people don't after the prequels. Weird how that works, right?
If you're suffering as much as I am, please tell me.
I can't. We can't. It's just not possible.
But no, he doesn't mention her.
Yeah, thank God, right? And this one, Thrawn, he will later on study art, but he also does a lot of studying of like faces and people and body language, and that's how he kind of deduces motive and intent and that sort of thing. Instead of just being like, I saw the Emperor's doodles. I saw that it's just him shooting Mace Windu with lightning over and over again.
That would be what he draws.
It really would be.
One little touch I liked with his facial observation is Thrawn has glowing red eyes, if you've never seen a picture of Thrawn. And
he's fucking cool.
He has glowing red eyes partly because he can see into the infrared spectrum. And one little detail they add to all his observations of people's body language.
So that's why.
Yeah, he could see the heat rising from their face. He could see their temperature going up. Like,
I was wondering why he was like, I thought he was just like, oh, are they like blushing or something? And like, that's just how he describes it. But no, that makes perfect sense. Okay.
Yeah, I thought that was a neat little touch because they never did anything. Like, they mentioned that he can see into the infrared spectrum as just kind of like here's a fun flavor text for you in the old Thrawn books, but in this one they actually do something with it. It actually helps him read people. It's an advantage he has in an all-human society. He's the only person who can see their body temperatures changing.
Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay.
Yeah, and it's like you said, there's another subtle change in the way they describe even the art, and that is he starts talking about culture and not species.
Yes.
Which I appreciated. Timothy Zahn
a lot better.
Read my letters. Because that was one of my biggest complaints about the old Thrawn was only humans and Thrawn seem to have any like self-actualized, full-fledged consciousness. Like, the full gamut of behaviors is open to humans. But alien species seemed locked into one particular mode of thinking.
Yeah.
And they just can't deviate
That's why
from
humans
that.
are the best.
But in this one, Thrawn explains how it is cultural, and different cultures will tend to have different approaches and morals when it comes to combat. And he does even hint that there is flexibility in that. Like, if they see it's not working, they're not going to do it over and over again because there's just a block in their brain.
Yeah, I appreciate that as well.
That was a necessary correction.
So the Emperor is like, I'm gonna send you guys to school! Whoa!
Universal Pictures presents everything you always wanted to do in high school with everyone you always wanted to do it with.
It's really stupid. They're like, Thrawn's like, I could serve you. I'm a genius military tactician where I come from. And it's kind of like all those stories you hear of immigrants who were like heart surgeons working at McDonald's because they couldn't get their certifications recognized in the States. It's like, so Thrawn has to go back. He has to start as like a freshman, even though he's like 50 years old.
I think they accelerate him,
They
but it is,
yeah,
it is dumb. They're like, Eli, you've got 3 months left. We're going to completely transfer everything. And you're going to do a completely new curriculum, and Thrawn's going to do an accelerated one. And off you go!
Yeah, and they get bullied by the rich jocks. And
yeah, they do.
It's charming. Honestly, like, I'm making fun of it. It is stupid. It is a really stupid setup. But there's a charm to it. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought it was funny, and also I could see the Emperor doing that. I could see the Emperor being like, "Yeah, I'm gonna fuck with you a little bit."
Yeah, I guess the Emperor is also like just Timothy Zahn. I have to say, I didn't think much of his writing when we were reading the old Thrawn books, and I did mention, I think, in those old episodes that by the time we get around to like the Legacy of the Force arc, his writing was better. And here you can really see like he knows what he's doing now. He knows what he wants. He's having fun, but he's being serious where he needs to, because he even writes the Emperor as just like a comically evil douche no one could take seriously. Like, the Emperor is just constantly cackling to himself about evil schemes when they're talking about like what to get for lunch, and he's like,
they're also mentioning his glowing yellow eyes.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I think you'll find the chalupas are quite overdone.
He would do that too. He would burn all the food just to annoy all of the people working there.
Everybody who orders a medium steak gets it like medium well.
God, what a douche. So now, for a moment, we jump on over to Arinda Price.
I kind of don't even want to talk about Arinda Price. It was so bizarre. It's like, okay, this book is, the paperback I have is 470 some pages. And a full third is Arinda Price. And I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, by the way.
Yeah, I think Arinda Price is how you say it. That's how the audiobook says it.
Okay. But she doesn't have anything to do with this story at all. The story is about Thrawn's rise to Grand Admiral, and they have to make up this flaw for Thrawn to fit her in, that Thrawn is a master of like sentient being psychology and tactics and war, but when it comes to politics, he's a total dumbass. Even though he's like not, he picks it up pretty quick. he's used to the Chiss ascendancy where everything is about efficiency and the proper allocation of resources.
Yeah. Whereas here it's about how can you be the most evil and spend as much money as possible on the most useless shit.
Yeah. In the Empire, it's just like decadent dumbassery all over the place. And the rebels,
governors and senators, and they seem to fulfill roughly the same.
Don't forget about the Moffs.
Yeah, I don't even know what a Moff is. I thought they were governors.
Yeah,
but
so did I.
No, they're not. Apparently,
they're not, no. And there's Grand Moffs.
Yeah, of which I only have ever known one. Ever.
Can I tell you? I actually turned to Shy and explained to her why I was laughing at one point when I was reading the book. And it's because Moff is a political civilian title, but George Lucas just didn't know that. And he had Grand Moff Tarkin wearing a Navy uniform in all of the movies. And so
that is true.
This book has to take a moment to explain why Grand Moff Tarkin wears a military uniform, even though he's not in the military, and like
he is controlling the Death Star, the biggest military installation in existence.
Just don't draw attention to it.
Yeah,
that's all you gotta do. It was a dumb mistake. No one ever cared. There's one person out there who cared, and this is like,
well, it's the same thing. How they made an entire movie to explain the thermal exhaust port, Ben.
That's true.
It's who cares?
I liked that movie though.
I didn't.
I
did enjoy that everyone died.
I liked that too. I liked that they went for that.
Except for the robot, the wisecracking robot.
He died. He died first.
He died. I know. That's what I mean. He's the
Oh.
one guy I wish would have somehow made it. And then talks about how shit his teammates were.
I don't think Alan Tudyk's allowed to survive a movie.
Oh, is that who that was?
Yeah.
Does he have a Sean Bean clause?
I think he might.
Oh my god. That's
like,
unfortunate.
Like, you know, the robot's just sitting there like, I'm a leaf on the wind.
I'm a leaf on the wind. Watch.
Bam! Thorn through the chest. Spoilers for Serenity.
Oh my god.
Wash dies. Everybody hates Joss Whedon now, though. It's fine.
Yeah, that's true. So, okay. But yeah, what I'm saying is, thermal exhaust port didn't need an entire movie to explain it, Ben.
He doesn't die in Tucker and Dale versus Evil. Sorry.
And Chewbacca didn't need to have his medal show up, Ben. It's all dumb, all right? I feel like that's just Disney going, what do you want? And just throwing everything at you.
Yeah, there was a Lindsay Ellis essay about them doing that with Beauty and the Beast, too. I didn't watch it.
2 as in TOO or 2 the number?
2 is TOO. Like, with their live action movies, they try to address all the criticisms of their animated movies. Like,
well, stop doing that.
How Belle is like a feminist.
It only
in the
draws
new one.
more attention to it.
Right. Like, it's just weird because at the end of the day, she's gonna marry her captor.
Yeah.
That's gonna happen.
Cut it out already. So what should I say about Arindu Price?
So Arinda Price, here's my explanation of her story arc.
Okay.
She starts off as a girl in a small town who dreams of a life in the big city. When the
Disney princess. I want more.
She wants more. And the Empire comes and they take her family's shitty mine. And
Dunium. Remember that, Ben.
Yes.
That's actually incredibly important. Dunium is very important.
I couldn't forget Dunium because between all the spice huffing and all the Dunium, you know what I'm going to say.
It's like Dunium?
Yes. So, they take Arinda Price's family's mine, and Arinda decides that she's going to have to start doing some political maneuvering. And she
runs some homeowners associations on Coruscant for a senator.
Yeah. She wants to get her family's mine back. That's how this starts. But she doesn't really care about the mine. She does care about her parents, but It seems more that she cares about somebody getting one over on her. Like she wants revenge for being vulnerable, not because she actually wants the thing they took. And in fact, taking that thing from her freed her to live the life she always wanted. So she moves into the big city. She's got a crap job. She's essentially a social worker. She's helping.
But she's like, how can I turn this social work to my advantage?
Yeah, so like, Barack Obama was a community organizer. Everybody made fun of him for that. That's what Arinda Price does. She's Barack Obama. And, like Barack Obama, she will go on to become an evil Imperial. I can't. I voted for Obama twice. So
that's how we know racism is over.
You can't cancel me. I voted for Obama twice. Oh God. Okay. So she starts out as a social worker and she wants to climb the corporate ladder. She runs into a Moff who throws pocket spice on her.
Cocaine. Yeah. Pocket cocaine.
Yeah, he's like, pocket cocaine. And he throws pocket cocaine all over her and he's like, now you've got cocaine on you. No one's gonna believe you now. You've got cocaine all over you. I'm gonna call the cops and they're gonna arrest you for dealing cocaine if you don't do what I tell you. And that was the most flawless political machination I've ever seen put to paper. That's exactly how it happens. It's like Timothy Zahn has definitely seen a drug before and definitely knows how that works.
That's how that works, right? Officer pulls over someone and they're like, oh my God, you're covered in white powder. Well, time to go to jail.
I don't actually think, I could be wrong. This is not legal advice. I don't actually think being covered in cocaine is against the law.
Especially not at a Moff's residence. That's just like
wait. I'm contacting my drug advisor, Shy.
It could technically count as possession.
It could count as possession if it's like in your hair.
You might shake it off later into a bag somehow.
They'll probably just let you go. But the cop's having a bad day, you get arrested.
Oh God.
I guess that makes sense. You can't have you have a brick of coke and the cop pulls you over and you're like, think fast, and you just like put it all over yourself.
No, I thought you were going to say throw it at the cop because that's the ultimate. Because now he's going to jail.
Yeah, now you were the one who had the cocaine, officer.
You showed up. The cocaine's all over you. You tell me how it got there. I'm arrested. Citizen's arrest. I'm arresting you now. But
she destroys her career.
Yeah, Arinda Price isn't a man of the world like you and I. She doesn't know the techniques, so she gets manipulated. She winds up losing her job. Starts from zero. She wasn't that far up though. So
yeah, she didn't fall very far.
So she winds up working for a lobbyist. The lobbyist is a front for some kind of, it's not the word.
Well, she has some sort of other shit job first where she goes in off the street and she's like working at the employment center for.
Yeah, so there's like
it's not important. She climbs up.
There's in Coruscant there are social work centers that operate exactly like the DMV.
Yeah, there's someone sitting there going, next. Where are you good at? All right, here's McDonald's job. See you tomorrow at 8 a.m. Next.
Can you imagine? And it's not just that, they'll set you up with an apartment and everything. Like, can you imagine if you're just like, you know what? I am not mentally healthy. I'm going to go see the social worker about that. And you just walk in, you just get in line. Maybe that's how it works in like Canada or some civilized nation, but that's not how it works in these United States. You just starve to death on the streets, possibly covered in cocaine. You can't eat, I mean, you can eat cocaine, but don't. Yeah, so anyway, she winds up working for a lobbyist.
And they hire bodyguards.
There's a whole convoluted bodyguard scheme where...
Yeah, she's got one friend who hires her as a lobbyist, and her other friend trains bodyguards, and the bodyguards spy on the senators and give it to the lobbyist group, and the lobbyist group uses it to make the Empire great again.
Yeah, anyway, she's like...
She betrays her friends.
She has this whole like Walter White Breaking Bad fall from grace. All of this happening in the background of this stupid Thrawn book.
while Thrawn is doing all of his stuff, this is all going on.
Thrawn is getting 12 promotions off screen because he's got to be Grand Admiral by the end of this book. We're literally chasing down buzzer droids and Dunium, while Arinda Price is covered in cocaine, blackmailing Moffs, getting her friends killed, stopping a bodyguard scheme to assassinate senators, and then Thrawn's just out there having space adventures in the background like a tiny child.
And then she becomes a governor.
Yeah, so she works all that into... She blackmails a Moff, gives the dirt to Grand Moff Tarkin. It's a political enemy of Grand Moff Tarkin. Grand Moff Tarkin, surprisingly not corrupt in this. He actually comes off like kind of a good guy.
Yeah, a good guy who's going to order the death of an entire planet's population, but yeah, that comes
here's
later.
The thing, though, right? Like,
I think Grand Moff Tarkin did nothing wrong.
No, I'm not going to say Grand Moff. I'm not going to go that far. I'm not going to say Grand Moff Tarkin did nothing wrong. But
Alderaan,
I do
right?
like Peter Cushing. I'm a big Hammer horror fan, and it's just he was Van Helsing, okay? So I can't stay mad at him.
Yes.
And ironically, he also played Sherlock Holmes, full circle.
Oh my god. But yeah, I guess we could just say that she becomes the governor, she gets revenge on the senator who took her family's mine, and then she'll intersect with Thrawn at the end. Is that good? The guy's name is Moff Gotti. I like to think that when he throws the cocaine on you, he's like,
Gotti!
Moff Gotti! I basically said she becomes a governor, gets revenge on the senator, and shuts down her family's mine, and then she'll show up at the end to commit crimes. And
no, they're really trying to do this
Walter
White thing with her, and it's interesting.
It's not what you expected when you picked up a book with a blue man with glowing red eyes staring at you called Thrawn.
Well, nor what I expected when I read like most of the book. It's just another little book. Like, it's a whole other book that's just in this book. And at 470 pages, it doesn't need to be there. If you want to write
where you're wrong.
An Arinda Price, novella, go nuts. For the fans of the cartoon that I have not seen. I am a 35-year-old man. I cannot be expected to watch cartoons to understand books. What is happening to the world?
Is there anything else you want to talk about with her before we go back to Thrawn?
Yeah, there's one more thing I want to talk about. And I guess it's the thing that the Arinda Price story does better than the Thrawn story, which is showing the moral complexity of the Empire.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
a lot of the people surrounding Thrawn are just like angry, barking humans talking about aliens.
Yeah. Well, and even Vanto gives a little insight into that when they're at the academy, and that is that like again, and I can't think of another real life analog for this. What the Emperor has done is sort of foment animosity towards non-humans by playing up the sacrifices made by humans in the Clone Wars, saying that most of the Republic troops were human, and humans bore the brunt of all the losses, and all these aliens were just along for the ride, or worse, they were on the wrong side. And that has stirred up racism, which keeps them from paying attention to the evil Emperor. Again, I can't think of an analog, but
yeah,
I thought that's an interesting take that makes, if you're going to have Star Wars, and this is something the movies never figured out, you basically want a galaxy where war is always a threat or a thing. And how do you do that?
Is it because it's called Star Wars?
Yeah, how do you do that if one side is just good and one side's evil? Like, does good never win? What you do...
Very slowly.
What you do is you have complicated interests on both sides that keep sparking into conflict. And I think this does a good job of laying it out there. I think they are allowing the Empire to be more than it ever was. I think it makes a certain sense that And again, I joke, but we do see it in the real world. Like, it makes a certain sense that where there is some sort of trauma, people can exploit the fear and the anger to political advantage. And that's what they have done. The entire galaxy, and this is something that the George Lucas movies fuck up.
What?
The Clone Wars in these books are the worst thing that has ever happened.
Yes.
Billions of people, trillions of people have died across
People are
countless
pretty
worlds.
traumatized.
Yeah. The whole, intelligent life in this galaxy was, on the brink of collapse. Not just humanity, not just any alien species, but, this was an existential threat, to existence itself.
Probably why we don't see a lot of droids or clones later on. They're probably maybe never again.
Don't write their story for them. That would be a good thought. That nobody in Star Wars ever had until just now. But yeah, playing up the trauma of the Clone Wars, making it seem like this really fucking big deal, makes it even though the Death Star is just the dumbest fucking weapon you could conceive of. Especially when you read The Expanse, because George Lucas is an idiot. Okay, he doesn't.
What?
I think he knows movies. I think he knows special effects. He's got his talents.
He knows business. He
knows business.
he knows business.
He doesn't know shit about science. And The Expanse points out, you throw a moderately sized rock at a planet, you destroy it. You don't need to build a moon-sized laser.
Yeah, but they'll have ground defenses, Ben.
They'll have ground defenses for the laser.
My thing is, Ben, my thing is, it's a stupid weapon because are habitable planets just in such great abundance you could just if we had a weapon that could destroy a continent on Earth, that would be a fucking stupid weapon to use because you really don't want to destroy that much of the landmass for people to live on.
Well, Nathaniel, in this galaxy, you can build a planet if you have enough dunium.
You're right. And then that planet can blow up 5 more planets.
I don't even remember where we were. But yeah, I like that.
I don't even remember either.
I think the
Arinda... You said...
Yeah, the Arinda Price
Arinda
story
Price
does a better job of conveying the nuance of the evil empire.
Yeah, no, by the end of this, I totally understood why Thrawn, who seems to be a pretty good guy for the most part, why he would want to work for the Empire, and why he would want to work against a rebel force.
Well, and what happens in the Thrawn series is, I say the Thrawn series, the Thrawn side of this story is we see that Thrawn is uncomfortable with the immoral actions the Empire is taking. He doesn't like the slavery. He doesn't like the stupid super weapons. Nor does Vanto. Nor do a lot of people. There are people in the Empire who are not on board with this. Unfortunately, they just play sort of a Mike Pence role, just we're waiting to see how it all plays out. And I guess I can't keep saying I can't think of a real analog, but
the Emperor will have some stormtroopers ask those people to get into a transport, and they'll be like, I'm not going to get in that transport. And then he'll heavily imply, but without actually saying what it is, it could have been anything. Anyway.
Maybe those Wookiees were just into BDSM. And maybe that was my pleasure barge. Did you ever think of that?
Yeah. I guess that could have been it.
That's why I have 16 Wookiee-sized cots with chains attached to them. Because I like weird sex stuff. Okay? God. Just gonna kink shame the Emperor? I'm an old man,
I would kink shame the Emperor. I'd be willing to take that bullet. Alright, so what's he? What are we doing? Thrawn's at school, he gets some students transferred out, and then after they try to beat his ass, And then they graduate, and he's a lieutenant, and Eli is like, boy, it's sure been great, Thrawn. Guess I'll see you later. We'll never see each other again. It's been real cool these last 3 months, but I'm going to be a supply officer, and what the fuck is this? Why does it say that I'm going to be like your junior assistant or whatever? What is this?
Why does it say? Why does it say Chief Butt Boy to the lieutenant? Why is that my formal rank? Why is everybody running around calling me Thrawn's Butt Boy? How come every room I enter, they're like, "Hey, Butt Boy."
Yeah,
that's his whole career for like the entire book.
That is, yeah. He will eventually be promoted out of ensign, like 10 years in world time. Yeah, so what happens when you graduate, but we don't want to make you an ensign, so like, here you go. Thrawn often, he must have read the first Dune.
Everyone has.
Because he often will figure out what a trap is all about by identifying the trap
and then walking boldly
forward. Into it. He does it at the academy, and he's going to do it here in a moment.
No, I will say, unlike the great Duke Leto Atreides, Thrawn does prepare for the trap in some ways, like,
and gets out of it.
Yeah,
every time.
Yeah, he's not murdered unceremoniously.
Not this version of him, at least.
Not this version of him.
Yeah, that's an important distinction. It did my boy EU Thrawn dirty. All right, Ben. So they're doing patrol missions, and they have a great commander that's replaced with a woman who sounds like an old woman, even though she's like in her 30s, I think.
I don't know what she sounded like, but
that's fine. You don't need to, other than old woman. And we need to board this derelict Tabana gas freighters attacked by pirates, and there's a stowaway on here. And Thrawn and some engineers, they're going to stay behind while the ship responds to a thing. And oh no, Ben! The stowaway was one of the bad guys. Signy, the guy, I'm sure we'll never see him again after this. He's like an advisor or something to the pirates. I don't know, but he gets them to disarm, and he's really honorable guy. He's not just gonna straight up murder these guys if they disarm.
Like some kind of consulting terrorist.
So Signy and some of the other pirates get away, but Thrawn rescues himself and the prisoners using a droid that has a Dunium case, and it's from the Clone Wars, and it's the Model 1. Ben, did you remember that?
I remember that it's called a buzzer droid.
Oh, no, I thought those were the things that attack their ship later on.
That is a vulture droid.
Oh, my God, you're right. How could I? Oh, my God. This is how you know I cheated off of that test in the academy. You're right?
Yeah, you're not gonna pass the Scholastic Book Club test and get your personal pan pizza that they don't give to adults.
That's some bullshit. You know how many books I've been reading? I want that pizza.
We should have like a pizza tier on Patreon. Every 10 books we read, you should give us another $1 to get a personal pizza.
Oh, so yeah, I think Thrawn... Oh, yeah, this is his first of many court-martials because he let the pirates get away with the Tabana gas. They're finding literally any and every reason they can to drag him in front of a court-martial.
Thrawn eventually winds up with like a weekly court-martial appointment. He's constantly
basically
called back to Coruscant.
Yeah.
And it's so dumb because he's constantly called back to Coruscant for clandestine meetings in the Emperor's bedroom while they try to court-martial him. And it's like, it's not going to happen, guys.
Yeah, it's like he's got this really powerful person that keeps doing him political favors. Oh my God.
We never do find out what they're talking about. At least not in this book.
Oh, I thought it was... no, you're right. Right, because he's talking to a colonel about something else. But yeah, so let's see, where are we at? Yada yada yada. He meets Arinda Price briefly, and then they go their separate ways for years. It says Thrawn saves the day off screen, and he's now a senior lieutenant, and he's in trouble with the high command again. Someone mentions Thrawn would look good in white. I see what you did there.
I don't know what color his uniform is. I thought it was white.
When he's a Grand Admiral, it is. But right now he's in gray, Ben.
I don't know what fucking color they wear.
Didn't you see Grand Moff Tarkin wearing a gray uniform?
He's a civilian. I thought that was a space t-shirt.
So let's see. Oh yeah, they try to get Eli. They're like, hey, we'll give you a job, and we'll promote you somewhere else. And that way, you won't be with Thrawn, so we can weaken him. This is a job offer from Moff Gotti! Unfortunately, they did not throw cocaine on Eli, and Eli turned it down. And I have Thrawn got promoted to captain. And he's also realizing that large shipments of Dunium, they say that it's for a fleet buildup, but there's not a significant amount of new ships right now, Ben. Isn't that weird? Like, where's all that Dunium going? Like,
Death
they
Star.
have enough Dunium to like
It's
build
literally,
a small
it's literally
moon.
always the Death Star. It's the Death Star.
It's like a small moon's worth of Dunium. Can you even imagine that?
They might as well build it out of aluminum because it blows up so easy. There was a real waste of Dunium.
It was a waste of Dunium.
You know, that means like half the galaxy's Dunium just evaporated.
They can always find more. It's Star Wars. How hard could it be? We got habitable planets just crawling out of our ears, man. I can't walk down the street without tripping over a habitable planet or two. Help me, Emperor Palpatine. You're my only hope.
Can you imagine if the Death Star just shot like some bioengineered plague that only attacked, Alderaanians?
Can you imagine if he just shot lightning out of it and laughed maniacally as he lightninged everyone on Alderaan to death?
He just goes house to house on Alderaan. Like a biblical plague. Oh, Christ.
All right, so now we're starting to see reports on some smuggled Dunium, Ben. Someone named Night Swan. Did you know who Night Swan was, Ben?
Moriarty?
I mean, you're not wrong. That is...
For anyone who hasn't read Sherlock Holmes, Sherlock Holmes
Yes.
is a consulting detective, and
oh my god, Ben.
I forget his
Night Swan?
I forget his name, but I'm going to say Bob Moriarty is a consulting criminal.
Bob Moriarty. Night Swan, Black Swan, Natalie Portman. Boom. Checks out.
Checks out. It was probably Padme the whole time.
God damn.
But it's not. It's Signy.
Yeah.
It's the only other named character in the book.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
See, it's definitely not that guy that you met that one time and like, oh, we'll never meet him again. Weird that they gave him a name and a personality though, right?
Yeah, they spent a lot of time developing Signy's nuanced attitude towards prisoners. But I'll give it a break because this is a book for children.
Yeah. We need to make sure that prisoners of war are treated fairly.
I was more talking
Yes,
about the
no.
Scooby-Doo logic of it all.
Oh.
Who could Night Swan be? Admiral Thrawn is like, see, this was the other thing is like, when you read a book for kids, you start to feel pretty smart because I'm sitting here like, yeah, it's going to the Death Star. And Thrawn and Vanto are just working so hard, running the numbers, calculating trajectories, and I'm like, it's the Death Star.
Yeah. We found out where it might be built and where all the Dunium is going and how much Dunium. And so here's approximately the size. It's Death Star. I've already seen this. Well, we're here to save the day, Ben. When Vulture droids attack.
How many Vulture droids?
So many Vulture droids. Oh my god.
Our Vulture
Thrawn-
droids will blot out the sun.
And
you're in
Thrawn,
space, so the sun's kind of like tiny.
Yeah. But I mean, there's still enough to do it.
Yeah, I mean, they
Make it less
did.
Impressive.
Yeah, it's better than your vulture droids.
Yeah, idiot.
Jackass.
Thrawn figures out how to beat him, but the guy in charge is like, no, I want to continue getting our ass kicked.
Can I tell you?
Fire in all directions.
Can I tell you the fun thing about the vulture droids and how you beat them? So I've been playing StarCraft 2 again.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Here he goes again.
Here I go again. But
all right, what rank are you now?
I'm okay, so my MMR is at
cool.
platinum rank, but for some reason I'm still in Silver League. Anyway.
Where you belong.
Anyway.
Yeah. I said it.
The vulture droids, right? They're just supposed to like attack whatever's near them. They got dumb AI, which is why they retired the vulture droids. But somebody is microing the vulture droids. And Thrawn notices that whenever this one ship flies past a certain group of vulture droids, they start acting a lot smarter. And it's literally a contest of APM.
No, they act dumber when the vulture droids fly into a radio dead zone or something.
Yeah, that's it. Sorry.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's all about the micro.
Yeah.
And
Thrawn gets court-martialed for saving the day.
Yeah, I was gonna say Commander. God, I don't know what his name was. Dildo was like.
But
yeah, Commander Dickbutt is like. He just A moves across the map, and gets absolutely obliterated.
And he loses some of his ships. Yeah.
These are references to a 15-year-old video game.
Oh my god, I'm fucking old.
You are.
Yeah, shit, dog.
It's not quite. Is it 15? It came out in what?
Yeah.
2012?
No, it came out in 2008.
Shit.
I'm like pretty sure. Maybe you're right. Maybe it was 2012. All right, StarCraft 2 release 2010. So
13,
okay,
13 years.
Damn. Still.
Yeah.
Anyway, Thrawn saves the day and he gets rewarded with a court-martial that he beats, and then I think he gets promoted. Like, here you go. Congratulations on being that court-martial. Here's your promotion.
It was a winner-take-all court-martial.
That's how that works.
The Empire is like so laughably corrupt that might be how it works. People are probably gambling on the results of court-martials.
I wouldn't be surprised. So, let's see. Where are we at? The Empire keeps seizing Dunium mines. Isn't that weird, Ben? How many Dunium mines they're seizing?
That's the Death Star. It's always the Death Star.
And Night Swan, he's manipulating them into doing it too, even though that's what the Empire wants to do.
It's Bitcoin. It's Bitcoin for the Death Star.
I have down here, Arinda Price goes on a short adventure through the Undercity of Coruscant, where she runs into some bad characters who are then beaten up by her friends. So, just moving on through that. Night Swan is stoking protests and rebellious thoughts. Ben?
Night Swan keeps mentioning, or Night Swan will eventually mention how he wishes he could bring all of these various rebel groups together under one banner, but nobody can do that. Nobody can ever do that. It'll never be done.
Yeah, that's right. You need to have Forrest Whitaker say, "I'm done running," and then get killed for no reason. That's the ticket.
Oh, I thought you needed Carrie Fisher
to talk about hope.
A lot. They do talk about hope. They do talk about hope again.
Thank God. It needs to be consistent, Ben. I need to get my hope fix.
Yeah, whenever you don't know what the fuck you're doing, just hope.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll get better.
Seems to work. Yeah, it's the Star Wars universe. You never know.
That's how I'm fixing global warming right now.
So let's see. Thrawn also finds out that the dojo. First of all,
I love
he
that.
Goes down.
I love how they're all
He goes down
dojos.
and spars with them. He's Thrawn Claude Van Damme.
Oh, that's so good. I love that.
And he figures out, like, I think these dojos are secretly spy networks. And uses Arinda Price, or he helps Arinda Price. She contacts him and is like, "I need your help, Thrawn. You're the only one I've ever known who could help me with this strategy stuff." And he's like, "Who are you?" Like, we met once at a party. I didn't know we were on a first
That
name
is not
or
what
even
he
last
says.
name basis.
That's not how this happens. She calls Thrawn. She's like, "Thrawn, I need your help with strategy." And he's like, "I will meet you at the first Space Denny's."
That is fair. He's like, I'm always down to talk strategy. I don't even care who you are. Let's do it.
Can I just point out, though, like how incredibly nerdy it is that they call every gym a dojo?
It is a dojo. It's where they teach you how to...
It's where they teach you Japanese karate?
Yes! Except it's space Japanese karate.
Right, so just call it a gym.
It's a Do not come at my sensei like that, Ben.
It's only a dojo.
Do not.
It's only a dojo.
I will have to
and a
defend my
sensei.
dojo's honor, Ben. My space dojo does not tolerate disrespect.
Do I get your sign if I win? It's only a dojo if it's Japanese. If it's Korean, it's a dojang.
Ben, they don't know that.
Obviously.
Don't confuse them with your words. All right?
There's just something about like
what's
bunch of people.
What's a donjon?
There's just something about a bunch of people who are like serious military people going around saying like, "Not in my dojo." It's like, look, I even speak a little Japanese. I like Japanese, but it's weird, nerdy to just call it a dojo. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it is.
It's not.
And we've got them. We've got them dead to rights. We're going to put away Arinda Price's friends, who were not really her friends all along. Or maybe they were.
But it's okay, because the furry lady, she gets away.
Yeah. She was innocent, says Thrawn.
He's stick fodder.
Run away now.
They did the old clackety clack, and Thrawn was like, you know what I really thought was going to happen? Was Thrawn was going to walk into that dojo, and he was going to be like, "I can't read cat people, but the only way you can truly know someone is by fighting them."
Like the Matrix.
Like the Matrix.
You do not truly know someone until you fight them.
And like at the end when they're like Thrawn, he beats her up pretty good or whatever, and she's like, "Your technique is foreign to me, but it's very good." And I'm like, okay, look, I did martial arts for many, many years, and I'm going to tell you a sad secret of martial arts. There's only so many ways to hold a stick. Like Thrawn's not doing
Krav Maga.
Thrawn's not doing anything with those sticks that this lady hasn't seen before. But he's an alien. So somehow the Chiss have some stick fighting technique that's totally revolutionary. He twirls it on his finger or something.
Yeah, and then he dunks it.
Yeah.
Like a basketball.
The most efficient way to hit someone with this stick is probably the way you would think. You hold it and you swing and twist your hips and you crack them across the face with it. That's how sticks work.
Yeah, but what if he also throws in some, like, Greco-Roman grappling in there?
He just strips fully nude. Have at thee!
Yeah, that's a technique you've never seen before.
My eyes aren't the only thing that glows red.
Oh, Jesus Christ. God damn. You want to stop right here on your... That's not the only thing that glows red.
That's not the only thing that glows red. What? And so on that note, we just fade out.
Yes.
All right. So where are we at with Thrawn's story? Let's sum up what he has achieved so far.
He murdered some stormtroopers and then got brought before the Emperor. He was sent back to school, where he aced all of his classes and became a lieutenant. Then he ran into Signy. Yes, he ran into him, and Signy got away. But Thrawn, he survived all the court-martials, and he's climbed up the ranks from lieutenant to senior lieutenant to captain, and I think now he's commander. I always thought captain was higher, but whatever. Maybe I'm wrong. I think he's now Commander Thrawn.
He's got Thrawn. Thrawn has his own ship right now. He's called in political favors with Arinda Price. And now we're going to find out next time, what can Arinda Price do for Thrawn? Will Eli Vanto tire of being the galaxy's oldest butt boy? And will Thrawn save the galaxy from the vicious Night Swan and his Dunium thievery? And what, if anything, could they be building with all of that Dunium? It's the Death Star. It's always the Death Star. Next time on Words About Books.
Thrawn edition? Words about Thrawn?
Thrawntanamo Bay edition.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so if you want to talk to us, you can do that on Instagram. We got a Discord. We got a blog.wordsaboutbooks.ninja that has links to all the other stuff. And we have a Patreon at patreon.com/WABpod. And we have a few shout outs to our Yacht Plan patrons. We've got Isekai Sensei-sama, who's probably going to yell at me for disparaging the Rebels cartoon. We have... Isekai Sensei-sama also has a podcast. It's That Time I Got Reincarnated in the Same World as an Anime Podcaster. And then we have the Gravy Man, Jamie, of the If You Want the Gravy movie review blog and everything review blog. I understand you degenerates drank Peeps Pepsi?
I drank it.
Yeah.
It was awful.
Marshmallows is disgusting.
Who would have thought?
And we also have, of course, Spooky Shy.
Did we also talk about John Bierce?
Oh my god, I forgot about John Bierce.
Yeah, don't forget about John Bierce.
Does John Bierce really want the shout out? I mean, does John Bierce need the shout out? I'll give John Bierce a shout out. Whatever. We also have one more Yacht Plan patron, and that is successful author John Bierce.
He also has a Patreon.
Now, check out John Bierce's books. Yeah, his Patreon is actually interesting because he does short stories, and his short stories are really good. He experiments with a lot of stuff you wouldn't normally see in his books. And then, next time we'll finish off Thrawn Book 1. Already did Book 2, so that's there waiting for you. And I don't know when we'll do the third one, but it's on the list. Pocket cocaine. Yeah. Action, my cat is on the top of the cabinet. How are you going to get down from there, Action? You were like 12 feet off the ground.
Jump.
Don't jump. You're fat.
You don't need joints.